Hello, and welcome to the Lesbian Lounge, a podcast for the girls who like girls. I'm your host and your resident lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor, and I'm here to answer your guys' questions, give advice on your dilemmas, and of course, chat about your wildest lesbian dating stories. So grab a drink, get comfy, and welcome into the Lesbian Lounge. So let's welcome this week's guests. We have the fabulous Jenny and Sorcha. Welcome to the Lesbian Lounge.
Hi,
Hello,
so
thank you
happy
for
to
having
be
us.
here. This is amazing. Such a good opportunity to speak to you. So I'm really, really happy.
I'm
So
so
excited.
I'm so happy to have you guys here. Obviously, you're joining from different parts of Ireland, which is fabulous. And I'm so excited to have you guys on to speak about your experience on the show, to sort of get the inside scoop, a little bit of gossip. So let's just start. If you both want to give yourselves a little introduction, Jenny, would you like to go first?
Absolutely, yeah. So my name is Jenny. I'm 28. I'm based in the heart of Ireland. I'm in the Midlands here. Not a city slicker like my girl Sorcha is, but a country girl at heart. Um, yeah, so that's me.
I am Sorcha. I am 41. I'm a little bit older. And I am from the heart. I'm from Dublin.
Love
We
that.
can't both be from the heart of Ireland. I'm from the heart of Ireland because I'm from the
Well,
Midlands.
Dublin is the heart, so I'm going to stick to that.
Okay, whatever.
So, obviously, you guys will be most known to the world for being on first dates. So, could you just tell us a little bit about what made you apply for the show? Did you get scouted, or what was it that sort of drew you to going on a show like that?
Well, I turned 40 and I panicked a little bit because I had never really had that serious relationship.
Mhm.
And a lot of my friends would say to me, "Would you not try first dates? Would you not try first dates?" And being an actor, I was never kind of shy of like going on reality television or adverts or anything like that. So when I turned 40, then I realized I was really ready to commit and like to just see what happens. I'll just take it as it comes. And so I did the application, never thought of it since. And then I think it was about 2 months later, I got a phone call from WhatsApp that like had four states on the picture, and I went, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually did." And they asked me, was I still interested? And then you get a phone call with the matchmaker. And then we're a matchmaker, Cleana, who has basically changed her lives. She matches us to the person and asks you what you like and what you don't like and stuff like that. And then hopefully you get a match. I don't know if it's a thing that you maybe somebody doesn't get a match, but luckily we did. And um he kind of checks in on you to make sure that you're still okay to do it, because it is a bit of a nerve-wracking experience. Do you know what I mean? To have your very first day and meeting somebody completely blind is something that you it is a bit scary. So they do ask you a couple of times, is this something that you're ready for? Is it something that you really want to do and stuff? But I knew when I applied that it was about time that I kind of did something like that. So and then I got a phone call then that they had a match for me. And yeah, I think that's really it. And then you get the date for your actual date, and then you don't find anything. This is the thing that people ask you the most. Do you find out anything about the other person? And the answer is no. You genuinely don't find out anything, which is very nerve-wracking. But I actually found it very exciting because I didn't know who I was going into, and they didn't know about me. So it was kind of one of my favorite parts about it as well. But yeah, that's how my experience went.
Love that. Jenny, do you want to share sort of your experience, your take on things as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like, so opposite. So Saoirse turned 30 and hadn't had a serious relationship, whereas I had been in serious relationships since I was like 15, 16, right up until I was 25, and then became single. Moved back to Ireland, back into, rural, like County Ireland, and found it really, really difficult to meet someone. So said first dates might be an opportunity here, I think. Um, I had put a lot of work into myself over the couple of years that I had moved home. I had a lot of healing to do. I definitely had a lot of like baggage from past relationships. So I felt like I addressed that. I kind of got myself into a position where I was confident, I was feeling good about myself. But the matches just weren't there. So I said, you know what, I need to hand my fate over to someone else now and see what they can do for me. So I applied into February. Got the phone call in June to say that they had a match for me. So I think they might have matched Sorcha to me then instead of me to Sorcha in that case, because I would have applied earlier. But they said to me, they said, we might not find someone for you. You might not get a phone call to say that there's a match. So there's definitely people out there who have applied and haven't been brought forward because they just haven't found someone that would be compatible with them. Um, but they really try to match you very well. But yeah, no, for me it was an excellent experience. It was the culmination of a lot of healing, and then kind of handing fate over to someone else.
I love that. I think it's so good to know that they do really take care in who they're matching you with. That
Yeah.
they could completely go down the route of we want to make great telly. Okay, we're going to match this person with somebody so far from what they want. So like you said, it's going to make good telly because they're going to clash. It's
Yeah.
going to work. People are going to be interested in that. But it's really nice to know that they, do take a lot of care in, finding out what you want. And was that both of your experience that you did sort of, get exactly what you'd asked for from the show?
No, just with like really taking care of you, like they really do like try their best for you. Do you know what I mean? I know it's not probably not like that for everybody, but like you are
Yeah.
asked intimate questions and you are asked like God, I can't even like remember now, but like intimate questions to make sure that you are not matched with the wrong person. And I definitely
Yeah.
feel like being honest in this interview, in this like process, because I don't want to be matched with somebody that, might have one dislike that I don't like that I have. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh no, I don't like that person. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be very, very honest in it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like you have to be open as well. I think with everything else in life, like if you go into it open-minded, you will get so much from the experience. If you go in closed off and like just shut it down before it even started, you're not going to get anything out of the experience. And like definitely having watched our series now back, like there has been other daters who you can tell that the moment they see who they've been matched with, they've decided in their head already it's a no.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it's the openness going into this opportunity, open minded. Okay, the person might not tick 10 out of 10 boxes, but they might hit 8 out of 10 boxes and will work together on the other two. Do you know this kind of a way? So it is
And some people.
how you, yeah, like it depends on how you go into it yourself, I think. But yeah, no, they definitely do ask a lot of very intimate
Mm,
questions.
very.
So did you both go in, sort of with any expectations, or were you just going completely open-minded? I'll see how it comes, take it as it is, and go from there.
When
Yes. I went in super, super open, just like this is my opportunity to meet someone with like none of the Tinder swiping, like judgment on looks, judgment on this, that, and the other. Let's just go into open-minded, see what happens. My only kind of expectation that I had of the process was if I don't meet someone this way, I'm not trying anymore. I'm like, I'm done. I was like, if I can't meet someone like this, I cannot see how I'm going to meet someone online. So it was kind of for me like last shot, really, even though I'm only 28, but the lesbian community is super, super small.
Mhm.
So it is very difficult. Like,
Yeah, everyone knows
yeah.
each other's exes and best friends and
yeah, yeah,
everyone.
exactly.
Yeah, same for me. I definitely went in open-minded and I did go in saying, well, if this doesn't work, am I gonna have to go back to the whole online thing? Because, I am a hopeless romantic and I do like the idea of somebody being out there for me. And I did say that I wasn't gonna continue if I didn't get Jenny. But I'm glad that I didn't have to do that now, thank God. The whole Tinder thing and the whole like horror, oh my God, the amount of apps out there. And then having to go through all of that again, which I haven't done in a couple of years. I will say that, like in the last, I'd say about 3 years, I haven't gone near them because mentally, like you will be like exhausted mentally
Yeah,
going through it all again. And I just definitely couldn't see myself doing that, like the whole online dating thing again. Definitely not.
yeah.
Amazing. So, do you want to just sort of run us through your first date? So,
Mhm.
sort of the day okay, this is the day, sort of getting ready, showing up to filming, showing up to set, and then sort of the first time you saw each other. Do you want to run us through that?
You get given a specific time that to arrive for your date. So And they do it so that you don't accidentally bump into each other at any point kind of beforehand. So Sorcha was 3 o'clock arrival, did all of her bits of filming, and then she was put into a green room. And then my arrival then was like 3:30, 4:45. Got to do all my bits of filming, and then I was put into a separate green room, and we were kept like away from each other. In the green room, there's definitely like, do you want to have a drink? Loosen up the
Ribs.
like lip. Let's get you like the Dutch courage, couple of drinks. I
So
think I had like
in
two.
them hotel rooms as well, there is also background
Yeah,
daters and there's also other daters. So you have got people there that you're like, are you nervous? I'm nervous. Are you
yeah.
nervous? So
Okay, so
it's
you're
very
not just sitting in this room
that.
like brain exploding.
No, thank God.
No,
What's gonna happen? What's gonna
Yeah, there's
happen?
no,
a couple of
definitely
other
not.
people with yeah. So
That,
it's really, really good. So for me, like it was very straightforward. Like just got the train to Dublin, walked out to the point where it was filmed, did all my shots of me walking in,
mhm,
up to the hotel room, and then it was just the wait. So we were just waiting for our slot to come up. I
mhm.
think it was about 5 o'clock about 5:30 when we actually went in for the date.
Was it?
Um, yes, and then one thing for me that like I wasn't expecting, because obviously Saoirse is a wheelchair user. Whereas on the TV show, you always see the bit of the person going to the bar and waiting at the bar and having that chat and ordering the drink and everything. So I always kind of just seen myself doing that. So when they said to me, okay, you're ready to walk down now to Mateo, I said, brilliant, I'll go down to Mateo and he'll sit me to the bar. But
Mhm.
when I got to Mateo, he said, you're going straight to the table. And I got an awful fright because to me, I was like, oh, Jesus, like they're doing something different here. Like I'm missing a big chunk of this experience. Da, 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 da. But then when I met Saoirse and realised with the chair, obviously, there'd be no sitting up at the bar. I
Mhm.
totally
I was
understood
just
then. And
raging. Jenny was just raging that she couldn't have the chats with the bartender. I'm just going to point that out.
I had all
Red
my,
She
flag.
had a
I wanted that chat.
conversation.
I like
She
had it
had.
all in my head planned out and then skipped that bit. But you know what? It was actually perfect. As soon as I sat down and me and Saoirse started speaking, it just was if it was just the two of us in private. It didn't feel like we were in the
No,
restaurant.
no,
So
definitely not. It was really similar for me. We came in. I'm from Trim, obviously, so I'm actually not that far. So I came in on the Lewis as well, and I did my shots. You do the lift shot, and then you do your shots outside, and then you do a couple of shots inside, and then you now have to say you do sit for a very long time. So thank God they
yeah.
did have alcohol there because I think I would have been rattling the entire time. God, there's other daters, and the staff. Now I will say the staff that are doing first dates are the nicest people, and they really make you feel like you're okay. You're doing something huge, but you're really okay doing it. Um, so then you go into the room with the other leaders and the staff and stuff like that, and then it's finally your time. And then obviously you meet Matteo and you have your conversation with him. And I think it was a really great thing that we couldn't go to the bar because when you'll see on the show, I look to the right and I see Jenny coming. I see her through the glass. So I was delighted that I could do that because I got a little bit of a sneak peek before she sat down. So I was grand.
That's great, isn't it? Like a little sneak peek. And when you had that sneak peek, were you like, okay, I can relax now, like this is going to be a good day. Like I'm happy, let's go.
Yeah. No, I didn't see the flowers or anything like that. I just saw Jenny and I went, okay, I'm all right now. Okay. Then she gave me the flowers and she said they were from, I literally went, okay, so she's close to her mom because me and my mom like we're best friends.
Mhm.
So that was really nice as well. So from literally the moment she sat down, I went, oh, this is something.
Oh, amazing. I'm so happy that, had such a positive experience and, you were able to just really enjoy the day. And then obviously
Yeah.
getting onto the date, have a little sneak peek and be like, okay, I can relax. This is going to be good. So how was it, sort of you meet for the first time, you sit down. Was it awkward? Did you get prompts for what to say? Or was it literally just like, okay,
No,
our date, go?
You're on your
didn't
own.
go.
Yeah, so you're on your own, so there's no prompts or anything, and the cameras they have them like hidden in the little fake flower pots around the place, so you don't really see where the cameras actually are. So like, you're not going to be like staring into a camera or anything. So it's very authentic, very casual, like very natural. Um, we spoke about so much that didn't get shown. Even to the point, I'm sorry, Saoirse, I have to say it. Saoirse actually got my name wrong during the date. And it was like a huge point of like joke and laughing and everything. but then they never showed it. And we
No,
told everyone, oh, they're going to show her getting my name wrong. And they never even showed it. And we were saying
no.
like, oh, I was surprised. But yeah, it was a bit awkward at times, but it was grand. It was fine.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I did. I did. I said her name wrong. And we've been joking about that since day one. And we're like, oh my God, I can't believe that's going to be shown on the telly. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
Not a bit of it. And I'm like, so I just told everybody that I did this to give everybody a little bit of a heads up that I did get your name wrong. And they didn't end up showing it. So I shouldn't have said anything to anybody about it.
It was all played off very, very cool, though. It was just sort of. So she said, "So, Emma, have you got any nicknames?" And I said, "Well, my nickname is Jenny because my real name's Jennifer." And then she was like, "Oh, I think I just got your name wrong." I said, "Yeah, you did." But we played it
You said
off
thank
well. It was
you.
grand. It was grand.
I guess normally in terms of dating someone, you've been texting in the lead up for the date, you've been recommended this
Yeah.
person from a friend, you've heard the name floated about, whereas in this situation, it was very much, hi, what's your name? What's your name? Okay,
Yeah.
start the date. And there's probably so much other things going on in your mind then. Oh my God, what did you say her name was? And thinking of everything. So you can
Exactly.
Absolutely.
see why that would
She
have
came
happened.
in with the flowers and then the whole flower interaction happened. And then I didn't catch her name. And then she had a 1992 necklace on. And I kept looking at the necklace and going, does that say her name? Does that say her name? And it didn't. So I did have like a little bit of a panic inside. So I was like, no, do you know what? I'm just gonna have to sit and get out. And then when I eventually said it, then it was the wrong name. So it wasn't ideal, but sure.
Look, here we are. We're still together. It's no harm, no foul. She hasn't called me Emma since, so we're not doing
No.
too bad.
So that's all that matters, isn't it? It was a first date
Exactly.
thing, never again. All
Just want
good.
to point out
Absolutely.
also, I don't know an Emma, so I don't know where Emma came from. So
Maybe
it's
you'll have
not
to get a dog or a cat and call it Emma, just
Emma.
so you've always got
Yeah.
Emma to remember. Do you feel like, obviously, you said they took a lot of care in asking, what do you want? Who do you want? Sort of, you could almost describe what seems like this perfect person to you. Do you both feel like you got exactly what you asked for? Was there anything you thought, oh, maybe I thought somebody like this was gonna come out? How was that when you did first each other? Was it like, okay, this is every box ticked, I'm thrilled?
but I also think that a life would be very boring if you just went into you know what I mean? Like we do have our differences and there is a lot of different things to Jenny that I love so much that it's like I didn't ask for that, but I got that as a bonus. Do you know what I mean? Which was really nice. But they definitely did take care. Like they asked me, like they asked you questions like, would you date a smoker? Would you date I'm trying to think like it doesn't matter. Like, would you date different types of people, or would you date like somebody that is married? Like the randomest questions because I've had
Yeah,
somebody
it
on
was
the
mad
married
question.
already. Yeah, and then obviously I said, no, I can't really be picky because I'm turning up in a wheelchair, so I can't really be picky. I said all I'm asking for is just somebody that cares about their family, will care about me, cares about themselves, and the rest will hopefully just become a puzzle piece for the two of us. We will just have together. So yeah, I do feel like they have, but
Yeah,
Yeah, my list was very long of what I didn't want.
yeah,
There was nothing like in particular really that I was super looking for. I said to them, I want someone who doesn't fit in. I want someone who is different. I want someone that like when you walk into a room, they stand out in the crowd and they like make an impression, they make a difference, and they're confident in themselves. And I definitely think that's Sorcha. I did ask for an emo. I did ask for an emo with lots of tattoos. And Sorcha on our date, I did say I was like, I was looking for someone with a few more tattoos, and she was like, "Well, actually, look at all my tattoos," and she pointed out all of her little dainty tattoos, and I said, "You know what? That's okay, honey. We
what's
can work with that." But
it?
yeah, I was definitely looking for someone who, like myself, was like into tattoos, into kind of heavy music, that sort of thing. I don't think me and Sorcha have the same music taste at all. It's
no.
definitely been like a point of contention at times in the car.
I was going to say,
But
do you have car fights over who gets the aux, who's DJing, the
absolutely,
long drive?
that's it. But
Same.
like other than that, like personality wise and everything, like Sorcha is exactly what I was looking for. Um, I wasn't surprised by the wheelchair. Obviously, like you get like extensive questions asked, and they did keep it reiterating to me, and they did ring me a couple of times before the date, and they said, "Are you sure you'd be comfortable dating someone with a disability?" So I kind of knew from that I was going into someone with a disability. Didn't know what it would be, but it was something that I was kind of aware of because they just kept on reiterating it to me. But that was not something that was going to be an issue for me at all. Obviously, I spoke a lot on the show about my niece who has Down syndrome, and my mother has worked in a disability centre for the last 30 years. So growing up, I've always been around people with disabilities. And for me, like, that doesn't define a person's worth. Their skin color doesn't, their sexuality doesn't. It's like the person that's inside them is what gives them their worth. So it was no issue for me at all.
That is so sweet. And I love that, the show was so inclusive and, you were able to, sort of really just get the person that you wanted. And I think what's so important that you guys have said is, the main boxes to be ticked were personality things. It was who they are as a person, because looks are such a slim amount of that when meeting a person. And, like you said, things like, are they a smoke? Like lifestyle things. Do they have seven
Yeah.
dogs? You're allergic to dogs? Like things like that. You're never going to be compatible whether you fancy each
Yeah.
other and find each other attractive or not. So it's really nice that, sort of the personality side of things, you guys just completely aligned, and everything just seemed to go perfectly from there, didn't it? Because obviously
Yeah.
you're here now, which is
Still
incredible.
together now, yeah. I think like the thing that really tied us was our family, like our families and how family orientated we both are. Um, Trust is really important, loyalty is really important. Um, for me, just from previous relationships, having your independence and not becoming like codependent with each other, and the lesbian urge to merge and things like that. That to me, it was really, really important that the person I was with was like established in their own life, had
Mhm.
their own things going for them. I was established in my life, and then at the end of the day, we're choosing to be together. We're not together because we feel like we have to be.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is at the core of our relationship, is like every day we are choosing to be together. The distance doesn't matter, whatever it is, work, whatever it is. We always will make the time for each other because I think we have like that same loyalty and commitment values, and
Like
that's
you
what's kind of
wanted it
tied
to
us.
work. You had such a good experience.
Absolutely.
You want it to work. So no matter, like you said, distance, anything like that, you're gonna put in the effort to make it work. Whether it's a 2 hour car journey to see each other, whatever it is, you'll make it work.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
there's been discussions of, moving to whichever heart of Ireland you've got to,
Yes.
you know, plans to sort of, eventually move in together. Obviously, I know on the show, Jenny, you'd said that your bungalow would become accessible for our lovely Sorcha.
Absolutely.
So
No bungalow, no bungalow, yeah. But
We're not in a rush.
no,
no, we're
Yeah, we're
not in
not
a
in a
rush. We're
rush.
not doing
Um,
lesbian urge to merge, yeah. But
yeah.
we like what you were. I just want to go back a bit, like when you were saying we choose to be together. I think it's a lot of pressure as well when you do a show such as First Dates, that we have never said to each other, well, we need to stay to each other with each other now. Do you know what I mean? We've never done, we have chose to commit. And when the show came out, we had said to each other, God, I just want to go back to our own lives now. Because we had made our own lives after it. And we actually forgot completely about it until about January came about, and we were like, oh yeah, we have this whole thing ahead of us now. Well, everybody's going to see our first date. Everybody's going to know about us now. And oh, it was never the case of, well, we have to stay together now. It was,
No.
we were together and that was it. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? That was the
But
end of it.
Yeah.
obviously,
But
side pressures going, we need to be together. Obviously, I'm assuming within the period of filming to the episode coming out, you had to keep the relationship hush on, social
Yeah.
media. So
yeah,
fans of the show couldn't find out anything. So in a way, that's almost nice because you could then just experience being in the relationship without having to have an Instagram label on it, having
exactly.
people, straight away coming in with questions. You had the time to like establish everything, like process what happened on the show, so that when the show came out,
Yeah.
you were ready for everything that came from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Because like when you're applying for the show, when you're filming the show, even afterwards, like you don't think about it coming out and you don't think about people's
No.
reaction because it is filmed like 6, 7 months in advance. And so for us, like when we finished filming, like our priority over those 6 months was like, okay, let's meet each other's families. Let's like go on a trip together. Let's, build our relationship, build our connection. So by the time January came around, the two of us were like, shit, people are going to see this. Like people are going to have opinions about us. And like my biggest fear, I was like, oh, we're going to get loads of abuse online. Like, and that's what my fear was. And like often said to Sorcha, I was like, I just wish it wasn't coming out. Like I just would prefer if it was our own private thing. But actually having seen it and seeing the reaction, it's made us
Been
feel so
amazing.
good about everything. Yeah.
What was it like watching it back? Because, like you said, it was, filmed about 6 months before. So, had you sort of forgot what had happened? Obviously, you don't know as well how much is going to be shown, what bits are going to be cut out. So, what was that experience like seeing yourselves on the show for the first time?
Well, we
For
had
me,
seen a couple of ads on Instagram and TikTok and stuff that they were putting out first before the couples actually on the telly. And we were told that we were going to be the 2nd of February, we were going to be this, or whatever of February, the second episode. So we knew it was coming.
so for
No.
me, like you never know what they're going to like what they're editing in. So for me, all the bits that I thought were really funny, really like good crack, would be really good TV, I thought were going to be on the show. And then when the show came out, they didn't show any of that, and they actually showed things that I don't even remember saying. So it's funny how like time kind of changes your perspective of things.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't remember saying any of that about, oh, come back to my friend's house onto the sofa. I don't remember any of
That
that.
was just like the pure
Um,
confidence in the moment took over.
Honestly, yeah. But no, like watching it was fabulous. And like I watched it with my parents. We all really
I
enjoyed it.
will admit, I didn't watch it at the beginning. I didn't. I couldn't. It was something that like I wasn't ready to do yet. I wasn't ready for the compliments and I wasn't ready for the comments and stuff like that. So I actually did watch it on my own after everybody had seen it, and I kind of got, okay, everybody kind of likes it. It's not too bad. And then I watched it, and then we would sit together then the next day. And it was actually quite emotional because you kind of
Yeah,
forget about it,
nice.
and then you kind of go,
Yeah,
God, we have this forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, hopefully we
absolutely.
stay together and we have this to show people. We have our first
Mm.
thing that we can watch now if we want to and remind each other of what we've made. Do you know what I mean? Which has been really nice. But my favorite one was when we watched it together.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched it together. I've probably watched it like 10 times at this point. Every time like a neighbor or like a cousin comes into the house, it's like, you must watch this, you must watch this. So like we've all watched it 100 times. Like really, really, really happy with how it turned out, and just have to give like props to First Dates, because like definitely by the end of the day I was getting drunk and I was getting a bit like rowdy. So props to them for not making a show of me on the TV. So I really appreciate that.
They
I'm
kept it
spoiled
really.
for you.
They did. I think you both just came across so lovely, and I think it's becoming so much more the norm on mainstream television to have, lesbian representation, disability representation,
Hmm.
and for people watching that at home to, see, oh my goodness, they like girls like me, she's in a wheelchair like me, to be able to be that for people. Have you had a really great response since people watching the show and, sort of being able to relate to your experiences?
Yeah, it's been
Absolutely. Now, I have
amazing.
to say, one of a few that have shocked me is a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, I'm disabled and I have an able body partner as well," because I feel like it's actually very uncommon. Do you know what I mean? You either see two people in a wheelchair or you see not two non-disabled people, or so when you put a non-disabled and a disabled person together, it's not very known. So we've actually had I've had a lot of comments that go, it's so nice to actually see people like us on the telly, and it's not awkward and it's not weird. And um, for me, when it comes to the disability, my disability was represented exactly how I wanted it to be. It was not everything to do with the episode, it was just a little inkling of it, which I really liked. And I got a lot of comments that were like, oh my God, I live you're the same as me and you did this. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, of course, like you just have to feel the fear and do it anyway. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we've gotten lovely comments, haven't we?
We've gotten loads of good comments from it. Like for me, like a huge part of it obviously is the disability advocacy for Sorcha, for my niece, for, giving people, like as you said, mainstream television. A lot of it for myself was, growing up where I grew up in Ireland was very, very Catholic, very, very rural countryside, and there was no lesbians. And like growing up, I remember having a horrible time in school and just really, really struggled an awful lot with coming out and the experience of being gay. So for me, it was really, really important that like 10 years later, now that I'm back in Longford, that I could just be myself on the telly. I could just be my butch in a shirt, on TV, and authentically myself. And then everyone in the community has been so complimentary towards me. I've had people reaching out and saying, like, I remember when you were in school and you came out, And like, I'm not gay myself, but my younger sister came out then, and like, I always thought of you from it and stuff like that. So it's really, really, really nice, both for the disability advocacy side of it, but also just to show like we're all different, we all look different, we all, but we're all people at the end of the day, and it shouldn't be a big deal. Do you know what I mean?
Because we're so much more than just a lesbian, somebody in a wheelchair. Like it's who we are, but there's so much
100%.
more that makes us who we are. And I think it's really nice that the show, it touched on, the disability, it touched on the lesbianism, as some might say, but
Yeah.
it also showed who you are as people, and we got to, really warm to you guys. So it was just so special to watch it. And like you said, you now have this memory to look back on for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Have a family in the future, being able to show them that, because I think so many times in relationships you almost forget what happened on the first date, but it's such a blur because there's so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
You haven't, you don't know each other yet, so you're still getting to know each other, so actually remembering exactly what happened. And I think so many people would love to, rewatch their first date back and, remember
Absolutely.
all the little things and, see the awkwardness, see the nervousness, see, obviously for you guys as well, see that moment that you see each other for the first time. So I think it's so special. And I'm so glad that, whether you watched it straight away like Jenny or Sorcha, you waited a bit, that you've been able to now watch it back and just really love watching it and seeing it and had such a great response. So I'm thrilled for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
So we are going to play a little game now, and it's called Dates or Mates. So I'm going to give you guys basically a prompt, and you're going to tell me if you would date them or if you would just want to be mates with them. So first
Perfect.
one, we have, she brings you flowers on the first date. So would you date this person or would you just want to be mates with this person?
I
Easy.
would date. Yeah, date.
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah,
What a
date.
gift.
It's bare it's given bare minimum, isn't it? Bring me flowers.
Yeah,
What are
100%.
you thinking? Bring me the flowers and I will take you. Love it. Okay, she suggests going for a walk instead of drinks.
Ooh,
Date.
love
Definitely
that.
date. I'm not a drinker. I'm
Wow.
not a major drinker at all. So I love that idea of like, if somebody is like, let's go for a walk in the park or let's go for a coffee instead. Like, I agree.
Something a bit.
Yeah, I love that. Like, absolutely love that. But I'm a lazy bitch and I wouldn't have the capacity to be going for walks all the time. No, I'll date. I'll date. I like the idea of it. Maybe good in theory, bad in practice.
I think it's nice, to sort of change up from the normal.
Yeah,
Most do go out for a drink, so it would be a nice sort of thing. Okay, she texts, let me know when you get home safe.
date.
We need more girls that look after girls and like or more men even. We need more men that go, oh, make sure that you get home safe. Let me know you got home safe. So definitely date. If you text me that, then I will marry you, yeah.
Love it. We should add an extra category. Date, mate, or marry them.
Marry, yeah.
Love it. Okay, she talks about her ex a lot.
I
Sorcha,
don't have a lot. No.
Sorcha's gonna have to say date because I talk about my exes all the time.
She does, but like like I don't look at it as in jealousy type of thing. I look at it that was her previous life
Mhm.
before me, and
Yeah,
she's had a big life before me. She's been engaged. I've never been engaged. The most relationship I've had was 6 months. So I don't have the experience that Jenny has, and sometimes it does fascinate me that she's still only 28 and she's gone through all of this stuff. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I
I
think
definitely,
mate.
yeah. I think if it was me, I would mate because I would be jealous listening to someone else talking about an ex. But as Saoirse said, like I'm telling about like life experiences. I'm talking about my time living in the UK. I'm talking about my times in college. Like it just so happens that I was living with someone at that point. You know what I mean? So,
And it's not
but
like
for me,
missing them.
yeah,
It's not
no,
Yeah.
much. It's just like they were part of your life, and I'm almost the same as Saoirse. I like to think of my girlfriends. I think of it as like a past life. I don't know that version of Lucy. Like, who is she?
no,
Like, I only know the girl I'm dating. So whatever you've done in the past, you've done in the past. But now it's just us, so nothing else matters.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
the
And I'm
stories that
definitely
Jenny would tell, they're very juicy. So like I am also here for the juiciness of it because like I love the goss. And I love that I'm not
Yeah.
involved in it. I love that we don't have the connection to these people. So she has got the freedom to tell me what did go on and what didn't go on. And do you know what? Past relationships can also bring on triggers. So I do think it is important to talk about your ex as well. So you know, bringing into your new relationship what does trigger them and what doesn't trigger them. So I do think it is very important. But like you said, if it was a thing of like, oh, I really miss them. Oh my God, I just got a text message from them.
Oh
Oh my
no,
God, they
no,
just liked my profile. Oh my God, no, I'd
no.
be out like a lion.
Even mates, they're getting blocked. Like,
They're,
Yes.
yeah, forget mates, they're gone. They're
oh,
in the sin bin, gonzo.
okay, moving on. She says she doesn't really like labels. Are we dating or are we mating?
Mate.
Me, I love a label.
Imme immediate mate. I love a label. Love a label.
I think it's such a lesbian thing as well, to move really fast. So I think, if someone's going, oh no, I don't like labels, I don't want to put like a tag on it. It's, why? Like, if you're not happy with me, just say you don't want to
Yeah,
work with me. But you're clearly just saying you don't like labels because you're still in Sally's DMs and
exactly.
single online. There's always a reason why they don't like labels.
So flags.
Absolutely.
It's
That's a
not
Red
red
to do
flag.
flag.
with you, it's to do with
Red
everything
flag.
else. And yeah,
Exactly.
100% red flag. Okay. If she suggests a weekend away after 2 dates.
I did that.
Jenny did
Date.
that.
Yeah,
They,
I did that.
I would date that person. It wouldn't scare me away.
Date. Me and Sorcha were probably together for 2 weeks, and I had booked us like a long weekend away. So no, yeah, definitely. I think like when you know, you know. Like obviously, like if you match with someone on Tinder and you've met once, and like you say, "I'm taking you away now for 4 days," it's a bit like serial killer vibes. But like because we
Most
had met
definitely.
like because we had met in person and then we met in person again and then we met in person again and then in the
yeah,
meantime we were texting every day and calling every day. We felt like we really knew each other and we were comfortable enough to go away with each other. I wouldn't be going away with no strangers.
No.
no. If I wasn't comfortable enough, I wouldn't be going anywhere now, I have to say. Um, Yeah, like we did do it like pretty quickly, but I think it was a very good learning experience for the two of us going into that because being so far away from each other, obviously Jenny's in Longford and I'm in Dublin, that was the first time that we had to be in each other's space for so long. And I do think that we did
Mm,
learn a lot about each other doing it. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm really happy that we did it at that stage because now I know. Now I know how Jenny works and now I know how Jenny doesn't work. And I hope that you would feel the same about me. But we did that pretty early, but I'm really glad that we did because now I know these things for the future. And I need
Yeah, because you don't want to, get with someone and, move in, then you figure out, oh my God, like we just don't align, maybe it is like, going
yeah,
back to what you were, ticking the boxes for on first dates, like maybe because they're a smoker, maybe because they just have a
exactly.
lifestyle to, maybe they're just really messy and you just cannot deal with the mess, so it's good to sort of know these things straight away. And I think, lesbian or not, I think when the time is right, you just know. And,
yeah,
people can judge and people can say, oh, it's too soon, but if you know in your hearts that it's right, then why would you not do something that's going to please you just because somebody else has an opinion on it? I think it's, such an outdated sort of mindset. So I'm glad that you guys just, was like, fuck it, we want to do this, so we're going to do this. We're not going to let
yeah,
Sally and Dave down the road go, oh, it's a bit soon for that. Like, I don't give a fuck, Sally and Dave. We want to go away.
yeah,
Away.
yeah. We're off on our little
Now.
trip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we still do that now. We still do what we want to do this, and it's at our pace. Thank God, me and Jenny's pace is the same. So, like, not one of us is ahead of the other, or not one of us is behind. You know what I mean? So, to be at the same pace is really nice. But we're going at our pace. We're not going by outsiders' paces. Especially
no,
having the comments that we've had being on 4 states. It's like, when is the U-Haul coming? When is the da 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 da? And I'm like, how, can you wait for a minute? I'm people.
yeah. And I definitely think like during the date, like we played into those lesbian stereotypes, and I definitely did mention, the U-Haul and all of that kind of crack.
Have
In a
to.
way, in a way, it's a feeler. You're like feeling out the other person by throwing out these like little things. Say, okay, what kind of lesbian are they? Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you're trying to suss it all out. But no, as Sorcha said, like we're taking things at our own pace. We have met each other every single weekend for the last 7 months, bar 2 weekends, I think. And like like we talk every day, like, we are taking things at our own pace, but like we're not going to be moving in together after 6 months. Do you know what I
No.
mean? So Um, as I said, like it's really, really important to me to keep your independence and not become too codependent because I've done that in the past and it's toxic. It becomes really toxic. So for us, like what's important is that we keep our independence and we choose then to be together when we need to be, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the complete right mindset that you guys have. You're moving at your pace, you're not moving for anyone else, you're not letting outside influences try and, slow you down or hurry you up. It's like we're going to move at our
Yeah.
pace. So I do think there's this huge lesbian stereotype of the U-Haul, of the moving in after, a week. And, if that works for you, it works for you. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I've told anyone this story before, but me and my ex had a holiday booked, and I'd met my new girlfriend Lucy, and I was like, "Wow, there's a plane ticket and a hotel." And we met in the May. The holiday was July, and I was like, "Do you
Okay.
come to Florida with me?" And she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh." So that was like, I mean,
Connection as well.
for sure. I don't think, too many times it must have happened in the past where lesbians have got together and 2 months in they're off to Universal Studios together for 2 weeks. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
it's, a common thing, but it worked for us. And
See?
we went at our own pace. Some people said, "Oh God, like you're already going on holiday together." Yeah, and what? But
Yeah.
it
What?
if it
Yeah.
works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and that's fine. Like either option is fine. If you want to be a U-Haul lesbian, or if you want to wait it out for a year, 2 years,
Yeah.
no pressure. There's no one sitting there with like a little sand timer going, "Okay, well it's nearly run out." Like you have to hurry up. It's like you
Yeah.
at your own pace. So I'm glad that you're both aligned on that and sort of doing
Yeah.
your own.
Absolutely. And I think like another thing is I'll just like throw in there, like when you're single, it can be really, really lonely. And especially with the age group that we are, like it's very, very hard to like meet your friends, get times that suit each other, that it's not going to be all just drinking, you're off work, I'm off work, blah, 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 blah. And what ends up happening is you lose out on so many opportunities to like go to gigs, go out, go do this, go do that, go to that show you really wanted to do because you'd be doing it on your own. And what's amazing is like when me and Sorcha met, we just connected straight away that like we just want to live life to the fullest. So for us, like booking a hotel to go to a concert, it wasn't a big deal because we wanted to go to the concert. Or like booking the aquarium, like whatever. Like none of that is too soon because we want to have these lived experiences with another person. And isn't it great that that other person just so happens to be the one that you fancy, like, do you know?
For sure. I love that. Well, I
Yep.
think we've covered everything. So, final question from me is sort of like, what is next for you guys? Obviously, you're not rushing a move-in date, but have you guys got anything exciting planned? Just dates, anything like that? What is coming up for you guys?
Few more holidays, I
We have
think. A few more
couple
holidays.
more couple more little holidays, couple of little staycations.
Yeah.
At some point, I definitely want to bring Sorcha over to where I lived in the UK just to show her like around the city. But yeah, no, at the moment, I think we're staying in Ireland. We're doing a little few staycations. No major plans. She's meeting my granny at the weekend for the first
Hmm.
time, which will be quite nice. But other than that, just we're going to carry on the way that we've been going. Start saving money. I need to get that bungalow. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. We have got a lot of happy and exciting things coming up, but and nothing major at the minute. But I'm very excited to meet the granny. I'm very excited. I hope that she likes me. I'm still meeting half the family, and Jenny has a lot of my family that's she still has to meet as well. So we've took our time with that, especially. Um, yeah, no, nothing that I could think of that's major at the minute, but we're just really enjoying spending time together. And any time that we do get together, that we are together, and it's all positive and yeah, just taking it day by day, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
at your own pace and just taking every day as it comes. And I guess we've just got to give a big shout out to First Dates for bringing you guys together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes,
Is it
absolutely.
6 months in now, is it, that you guys have been together?
7 months. Seven
7.
months now. This weekend. Yeah.
And
The
so
second, yeah.
and forever to go. It's so exciting.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
it.
delighted.
That's my plan anyways. I'm not going anywhere yet.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really, I couldn't have asked for a better experience and I couldn't have been asked to be matched with someone better. And like we take the first date as our anniversary. Like we have been monogamously together since that date. There was kind of never a question otherwise. And then after about a month, it was like, should we just put the label on it because we haven't said it yet? And we were like, yeah, we are together. Like, but yeah, no, 7 months in, going really, really strong. I feel like we're still learning new things about each other all of the time. So yeah, onwards and upwards.
Amazing. Well, wishing you guys so much, love and success for personal lives and, together lives for the future. And, maybe, when, however long down the line is when we get the house, maybe we get the wedding, we'll have to have you back on the pod to do,
Absolutely.
a couple of years, like
First podcast.
first dates, because I think there will be so many people's experience with the show who they go on the date and they're just like, oh my god, this was not it, and they never see that person again. So I think to have
Yeah.
such an incredible success story is amazing. So we'll definitely have to keep doing little check-ins and updates to see how everything's going and to get all the gossip. But thank you guys so much for
Definitely.
coming on. If people want to find you guys on socials, do you want to let them know where they can find you if they want to get in touch for anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm MC Baldchild on all of my handles across everything. So MC Bald Child, that's me.
One iconic.
It's just Sorcha C. I know. I don't know what it drives me mad because every time I have to tag Jenny into something, I have to type in MC Ballchild, and I actually thought it was Mick Ballchild, and I was like, "Can you please change that?"
Everyone calls me
Never.
Mac. Everyone says Mac Baldchild, but it originates from the days when we were young, where like MCing and rap battles and stuff were like a really big thing when we were like 13. So it stems from that. So it's MC, but I'll take Mac Baldchild. That's fine.
I love.
No, I think mine is just at Sorcha, Sorcha, because a lot of people spell it Saoir, which is okay. Yeah, that's Instagram is where I'm mainly on.
Amazing. Well, I'll link everything in the description for you guys as well. But thank you so much for coming on and being such amazing guests.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank
Thank you for
you,
being our
Gemma.
fourth person as well. We really appreciate it. And we were really happy that we could come on to especially the Lesbian Lounge. It was, yeah, we've had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.